What's the most inappropriate joke that you can't help but laugh when you hear it?
A man walks into a library and asks, do you have any books on suicide? The librarian responds **, you won't bring it back.
The good thing about pedophiles is that they always drive slow in school zones.
My girlfriend broke up with me, so I kept her wheelchair. Guess who came crawling back?
The Lone Ranger and Tonda are traveling through the plains when Tonda stops, puts a finger to his lips, and then puts an ear to the ground. Tonda says, "Buffalo come." The ranger asks, "How do you know?" Tonda looks up and replies, "It's sticky."
A man sees a sign outside a bar that reads, "Pass our list and win free drinks." The man, curious, walks in and goes up to the barman. "What do I have to do for the drinks?" "Well, first, you have to drink this pint of pepper tequila without making a face. Second, there's an alligator out back with a sore tooth. You gotta go rip it out with your bare hands. Lastly, there's a woman upstairs that's never orgasmed. You've gotta make things right for her." The man, startled, says, "You'd have to be insane to drink pepper tequila and get crazier from there." Well, after the man had a few and was feeling a bit bolder, he walks up to the barman and says, "Let me at that tequila." Then he downs it with a gulp. He confidently storms out back to the alligator where everyone can hear a commotion and thumping. Eventually, the man stumbles back into the bar, scratched up, bleeding in some areas, hair a mess. He looks at the barman and says, "Now, where's that woman with the sore tooth?"
Why don't you ever hear any jokes about Rev. Jim Jones? The punchline is too long.
What do Saddam Hussein and Little Miss Muffet have in common? They both had curds in their way.
Ever heard of a reverse exorcism? It's when the devil tells the priest to get out of the child.
Why don't blind people go skydiving? It scares the dog.
What's the difference between Hitler and Lance Armstrong? Lance Armstrong can finish a race. What's the difference between a small child and a bag of cocaine? Eric Clapton would never let a bag of cocaine fall out of a window.
A black man walks into a bar with a parrot on his shoulder. Bartender says, "Hey, where'd you get that?" Parrot says, "Africa. There's millions of them over there."
What's the hardest part of the vegetable to eat? The wheelchair. My uncle who died of alls told me this one before he became bedridden. Why did the seaman cross the road? Because I wore the wrong socks today.
What do you call a flat-chested emo girl? A cutting board.
What do Princess Diana and Pink Floyd have in common? Their last big hit was The Wall.
A rabbi, a priest, and a minister were on a ship. Suddenly, the ship hit a reef just under the water and started sinking. The rabbi said to the priest and minister, "We must save the children." The minister was already running to the lifeboat, screaming, "Fuck them kids." And the priest yelled back, "Do we have time?"
What's worse than ants in your pants, uncles?
Removed.